what time it is. Marvin Devine, Huber, Axel, and you know how we do. Yeah, I got the juice, yeah, I got the juice. Whip game cool, make them look like cool. Always play it cool, that's the biggest rule. Forget what they doing, keep on doing that. I've been making loot since like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose. Boy, wanna get in my crew, but you can't get in my crew. Me, Axel, and Huber, way too fireable. When this joint drop, better call the troops. And when you hear the drop, better raise the roof. Better raise the roof. You already know what happens when we link up. Let's go. Yeah.
Know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Cody's brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cody's brothers, my guys, know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike, now I gotta ride or die.
Yeah, let's get it. It's you against the world, better figure out fast who the hell you could trust if you wanna make it past all the fakes and the lust. Better figure out fast. Nah, this ain't what you want, you don't want it that bad. Can you give up all your stuff? Pay attention to the facts and forget the media. Figure out your own path. Can you figure out love, or do you feel wrath? Can you hone that feeling and create an impact? Go get it, if you want it, go get it. Get with it, ain't nobody gon' give it your ticket. Gonna take a quick minute, don't quit it. Figure out your own limit, life is a test of best. Make progress, figure out what is next and carve a path. Yes, no, they never second guess. Take a chance, no regret. If you wanna take a breath, give your blood and your sweat on.
When everything just breaks from all of your mistakes, don't let yourself feel down. Don't let yourself just drown. Only when you've lost everything are you free to do anything. Only when
Boom, boom, boom. This is Jared and I'm back. Hey guys, man, I'm super hyped. Man, I've got so much energy, so much excitement for tonight's show. You're really in for a treat. So you know what time it is. All right. I'm Jared A. Brown, and this is the Warriors Quest show. We interview, all right, we interview a chronic disease warrior, someone tonight who's looking for a living kidney donor. We do this every week so that we can get the information out there for this warrior who needs help. All right. So speaking of help, I need your help tonight. So don't be stingy. All right. Please don't be stingy. Please share. All right. I need your help to get the word out to everyone. So if you haven't already done it, please like and subscribe so that we can get this information out there to as many people as possible. Let's get this out to the masses. All right. And I need your help to share. I need your help to comment, drop a comment, and let's get this engagement going so that YouTube, Facebook, all right, so that the algorithm thing can work and do its thing. So I've got the show, all right. I've got some co-hosts tonight, and you're going to really enjoy what they're bringing to the table. They're going to bring so much, and I'm so excited to bring on again as a co-host. He's been here before as a co-host. I admire him. I so respect him. And then I'm going to bring on Sam, MrKidney, a kidney transplant recipient, an influencer, an ad for kidney warriors, kidney transplant recipients, everything organ donation. And then I'm going to bring on as well a double lung transplant recipient. All right. I'm going to bring on Terry. All right. Hopefully I get this. I'm going to try to say this slowly. So Terry Pilawa. I think I said that right. Terry, a double lung transplant recipient originally from Ontario, California. I'm going to bring on two co-hosts at once. So please give a very, very warm welcome, a Warriors Quest show welcome to these co-hosts. And let's get this party started. Here we go. Let's rock. All right. Here we go. Very, very special co-host welcome. Boom. All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Welcome.
I love the sound effects.
Terry, thank you so much for coming on as co-host, because Crystal McKnight is, a very, very special guest tonight, and we're helping her and we're spotlighting her cause, her need for a living kidney donor. So I failed to mention, Terry, you're also stage 3 for kidney disease. And so you're so much more involved in the kidney disease community as well. And so, Sam, I'm gonna start with Terry first. And so, Terry, please introduce yourself for those who may not already know you. Your story is amazing. We're gonna, if you would, just kind of introduce yourself, and then we'll have Sam reintroduce himself. Then we'll bring on our special guest. Okay.
Okay. Hi, my name is Terry Palawa, and I am a double lung transplant recipient, and I want to mention a tissue recipient too of my nose, of cartilage. Nice. Yeah. And that happened last year, November. And I was sick with pulmonary fibrosis back in 2000. in 12. That's when I was correctly diagnosed. And in order for me to survive, I needed a double lung transplant because with my disease, there is no cure. And so then I was very, very sick. I was put on oxygen. I was bedridden. And I was placed on the lung transplant list at USC Keck Medical here in Los Angeles. And on June 23rd, 2015, in my hospital room with my husband with me, I received my call. And my surgeon called me and told me that I had donor lungs. And the first thing that came out of my mouth, because I always remember this, is, where are they? Where are they?
Where are they?
That's all I wanted to know was, where are they? And,
Oh, wow.
and she said, they are here. So, of course, I had mixed emotions. You know, I'm very grateful that someone said yes to donation to save my life. But, you know, I was very saddened too because someone had just lost a loved one. So on June 24th at 3:00 in the morning, I was in surgery. So tomorrow is June 24th. So it will be 6 years post double lung transplant for me. And I'm just truly, truly grateful, blessed that I've had these years of bonus life. And I wouldn't change it for anything. I love my transplant life. So thank you for having me on the show to share my journey. And yes, I do have third stage kidney disease. So I will one day need a kidney transplant.
Mm-hmm. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming on. Wow. Wow. That is just an amazing story. And to think that those were your first words, you know, when you were saying that, that's crazy. So
yes.
Sam, you've been on as a co-host before. Thanks for coming back. And of course, many of our viewers, our followers, have seen you do your own show on YouTube. Would you introduce yourself as well?
I am actually Sam Jennings. I just go by MrKidney. That's something new that's happened to my YouTube channel. And it really is just about exposure to try to get this word out as much as possible. But for those of you watching and, meeting me for the first time, 12 years ago, I had a kidney transplant. Prior to that, I was on hemodialysis in center. And then I chose to do home peritoneal dialysis. For instance, we have Midwest Kidney Warriors who was talking about my hair, and I told him it was a wig. It's not really a wig, but we have Shane, who's in
Shane?
Yeah, he's in a hotel right now. Hopefully, he's waiting on exploratory surgery tomorrow to find out if he can actually get back on peritoneal dialysis, because he's currently in center hemodialysis, and he was on peritoneal dialysis before, but he's going in for that. Going in for the PD surgery tomorrow. So he's hanging out in a hotel. So Shane, thanks for watching, brother. But that's more about me. I make content here on YouTube. Crystal, who we're going to talk to, you can find me on YouTube or on Facebook, MrKidney. But Crystal, who we're talking to tonight, I actually had Crystal on my show also. She's an amazing person and has an amazing story also. The one thing I want to do, Jeff, before we do get right into this and bring Crystal on is, I want to see some comments. I want to see some comments not only live, but I want to see some comments after this. Let me know, what would you do if a family member of yours needed a kidney? What would you do if a friend or just a loved one of any kind needed a kidney? How far would you go? Would you scream to the rooftops? Well, that's what we're asking you to do. Scream to the rooftops, comment, let us know what you do, and then share it. Share this video, because that's how we scream to the rooftops, and that's how we get Crystal a kidney, because that's why we're here tonight. We're not here for any other reason but to help Crystal find that life-saving hero that she's looking for, somebody to step up and donate the gift of life. the gift of giving that extra spare kidney that you have. My sister donated her kidney to me 12 years ago, and I'm telling you that her kidney function is absolutely in fantastic condition. She's had other health issues, and at no time did her kidneys ever struggle, because there's no transplant hospital around is going to transplant somebody who isn't in 100% tip-top shape to donate. So don't be afraid to donate, but instead be challenged and be compelled to donate, and do something special. Find that special calling in life. So if you're watching this, we're trying to screen. That's what I ask you. Comment below. What would you do for a family member who needed a kidney? You'd scream to the rooftops. So do it. Comment and share. Back to you, Jared.
Amen to that. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. I love that. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. So, hey, so we're going to bring on our special guest, Terry, Sam. We're going to bring on Crystal McKnight. I love that name, by the way. That sounds like a celebrity's name, Crystal McKnight. So she's going to be our celebrity tonight.
Brian McKnight.
I know, right? One of my favorite R&B singers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully, doesn't he have a song, Brian McKnight, called One?
Oh, it's one of my favorites. One of my favorites.
Yeah, exactly.
The video. Remember the video?
Oh my
He's in a
gosh,
plane
yes,
accident. Yeah, it's wild.
Yes.
It's a great video. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So let's bring her on, and maybe we can find out if she likes Brian McKnight. And if anybody's watching who does like McKnight, drop a comment. Let me know, because I love his singing. And hopefully, just like that song One, we can find the one that can be her living kidney donor. So
good.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Everybody, I'm gonna play the intro now, and let's bring her on. Here we go. Very VIP intro. Here we go. Here we go.
Hit the like button.
Hey, welcome, Crystal.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Crystal.
Hi.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I had dialysis today, so if I'm a little lethargic, please forgive. Some days I come from dialysis and I'm perfectly fine. Other days I just want to curl up. So, but I wanted to really get this taken care of. So I said, I'm going to push through, because that's what we find ourselves doing a lot in this situation. We're pushing through.
Yep.
Absolutely. We're cheering for you.
Thank you.
See, I told you we're cheering for you. So we're all cheering for you. So, Crystal, give us a little bit of your background. Every hero has an origin story, and that's what you are in my mind, because of what you battle with every day. In my mind, you are a hero. Even Bruce Wayne as Batman had his origin story. And so give us a little bit of your background, how you started with kidney disease, how you found out, and how long you've been struggling with kidney disease.
Oh, sure. Actually, I started out with the fact that I have an autoimmune disease, and it kind of hit me out of nowhere. It's not well known. It's called polymyositis, and it attacks your muscles. And I was working, I'm a single mom. I was, living life, and then it just hit me out of nowhere, and I was hospitalized, and we had to figure out what was going on. And in that adventure is when I found out that my kidneys had failed. I knew it was coming. I had my nephrologist told me probably a couple of years before that But as soon as the polymyositis flared up, everything was like super speed, warp speed. And I was on dialysis within like weeks.
Wow. Within
Kidney
weeks.
disease, kidney disease and diabetes and high blood pressure and all of those things, they're hitting me from both sides because I have it on my mother's side and my father's side. Lots of relatives that suffer and a few that are on dialysis as well. So this is kind of like the family curse, so to speak.
Okay. All right. What other family members have struggled with this same disease?
With kidney disease and on dialysis, I know I had an aunt. She's no longer with us. My father. I have a cousin. I have a few cousins that have kidney disease, but just one other one that's on dialysis. He's a little older than I am, not much, maybe a few years. And trying to think, it's so many different things going on. But those are the main ones that I'm in contact with that I know that are battling things right now. My cousin and I are both saying that we're going to go out here and we're going to find, because we're both O+ blood, which is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing for everyone else because we can contribute to others, but we can't take from anyone but O+.
Right. O negative or O positive is what you can.
Right.
Okay. So how long have you been on dialysis?
A little over 4 years.
Okay. A little over 4 years. And
yes.
Tell me a little bit about how it was presented to you for the modalities. Did they discuss with you the different forms of dialysis that you could, choose from?
Not initially, no. It wasn't until I had been on dialysis for quite some time before I understood that there were other forms of dialysis, for instance, that you can do at home. I had no idea that was something that I could do.
Okay. Sam, we've talked about this a little bit before, is that it varies like from region and from state to state, but in some cases when I've interviewed kidney warriors, it's being talked about more and more about different modalities. And then there are cases where it's not being presented very well to kidney warriors, kidney patients. What's your take on that, Sam?
Oh, I'm going to try to stay positive on this one because 12 years ago, it kicked me right in the ass. Bureaucracy, insurance, I can go on and on why they wouldn't suggest a certain modality. But for me personally, that's the only thing that I can say, for sure. In 2009, I was in a hospital in Dayton, Ohio, in full renal failure. Not realizing I was in full renal failure, but within 5 days had to decide on doing in-center home hemodialysis or getting checked out of the hospital that day and coming back the following Monday for a peritoneal dialysis catheter surgery to be installed. And so right there in 5 days, not knowing anything about really kidney disease, dialysis, anything, I chose to do peritoneal dialysis. But it wasn't much of a choice because I was on in-center hemodialysis for, almost 3 months until they were able to get the PD catheter working, because that's not always a 100% guaranteed shot that it's going to work.
Right.
So those were the two options I had at the time. There wasn't a home hemodialysis option. Now that, fast forward 12 years, that's some of the things that I dig into on my channel, Jared, is those different modalities and spreading that word that there are other options out there. I'm not trying to sell one over the other, but because there are options, it does make it easier if you can find one that gives you the most optimal health that you're looking for. So PD was that for me. I was just fortunate, though. Not everybody can do PD. So I do know home hemodialysis is a real option, and it's going to become a more common option in the future due to some laws that have been passed, executive orders signed, that type of thing. I'll tell you who's really good to talk about that is Jim Myers. Jim really understands the laws behind that, and him and I had a really good visit on my channel talking about that. Jim has a legal background, so he can say it with a lot more eloquence than I can. I'm just I'm just a trailer salesman that had a kidney transplant. That's all I am. And trying to share the word, you know.
Yeah. No, it's good. So Crystal, are you doing in-center dialysis now, or what? How are you doing dialysis currently?
Yes, I'm in center. Yes.
Okay.
I'm in center. I think for me personally, that's what I need to do because of my other challenges. It would take a lot to do it here. I would need so much more help.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't want to put that burden on my family at this point. So it's better for me to be in center.
And Crystal, if I remember right from our conversation, you moved back to Philadelphia to make this transition a little easier for you. So it's not like you had all the infrastructure set up to like do home hemodialysis or PD. So yeah, that's why I said there's no one size fits all when it comes to this disease, especially like with Terry being a stage 3, you being on dialysis. I'm going to assume end stage renal disease like myself, because we're still transplant patients are still end stage renal disease. That transplant is only a treatment, and I'm only as good as that treatment provides, and how well I take care of myself too. So I don't want to take over the conversation, but I know that Crystal's really tired right now. Dialysis, I say this every time, and I'm really not filtered. Dialysis sucks. There's no way around it. Anybody who's ever done dialysis tells you it sucks. And I know Crystal, I can just tell now my heart's breaking because I know how tired she is right now. And and that's why we got to find this hero. That's why we got to find somebody who's watching this to step up and help Crystal out.
Amen. Amen. I like that, Terry. I like that. All right. So have a heart, let's find a donor. So I can only imagine how, wiped out you must feel, after having gone to dialysis.
Yes, I'm going to sleep well tonight, but I actually have I have to go do a stress test tomorrow. Excuse me, I have to do a stress test at the transplant hospital. Just a yearly thing, I guess I have to do. And it's so funny because I didn't realize, I said, well, COVID really took a whole year out of our lives because I didn't realize a year had went by since I first did the stress test. I'm like, oh, I'm due for another one? And they're like, yeah, it's been over a year.
Yeah. So speaking of the pandemic, so, all three of you have had to be extremely careful during this time. Terry, when you go out, how careful are you when you've had to go out during this pandemic? Have you had to limit that, or how have you been able to do that, Terry?
Oh my gosh. I totally limited myself to the post office, to the bank, and to pick up groceries if they couldn't deliver them. Those 3 places only.
Okay.
So I did, because my lungs are open to the environment. It's not closed off like a kidney or a liver or a pancreas, or a heart. It's closed inside, so it's a little bit more protected. And COVID is a respiratory disease. So yes, that
Right.
was very, very high risk for
That's a big
me.
concern.
A big, huge one. And so I have to stay home. And I lived in my PJs every single day, unless I needed to go to one of those 3 places. Once in a while, my husband said, "Oh, do you want to go out for dinner or whatever?" It was like delivery or go pick up. And it was very, very limited. So
I was in my PJs until about 1:30 today. So you are in good company, Terry. And I want to know who else was in their PJs until way too long today. I know there's people out there. Let us know.
Oh my gosh. I wish I could be in my PJs all day long, because then I'd say, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean that'd be comfortable, you know. And so I'm a little jealous, Terry. Seriously, I mean,
Terry, how was it?
I'd be in.
Terry, how was it for you? Like wearing, mask and dealing with that, since you have the respiratory issues. What was that like?
Oh, I wore a mask even pre COVID anyways. So I was always precautious. I always carried hand sanitizer. So I was already doing the things, washing your hands and being careful what you touch. I would lift my shirt up to touch the handles on doors. I would always lift up my shirt to touch everything else. So, or, now that we have the gloves, and I always had masks. And then if I did go out, I wore 2 of them. So I was always protecting myself, always, because if not, then I have too much anxieties, because it's the what ifs. And I know, because I have a group called One Breath Foundation, and it's a support group, and we help others as well going through lung diseases and other organ diseases, such as Crystal's too, which I'm going to hit her up and see if she needs our help for One Breath Foundation. And so, yes, it's like, take care of yourselves. And I was doing this already pre-COVID, so still continuing to do it, because I have too much anxiety. Like I was saying, it's the what ifs. And I already know some of people who are post-transplant with the lungs who've had COVID. And I know some who have made it, and I know some who did not. And they all end up in the hospital, and I don't want that for me, because I love life so much that I will do whatever it takes to take care of me and keep my lungs healthy. This gift is so important to me, because somebody said yes to donation, somebody said yes, and I'm living their daughter's legacy. This is my donor. Her name is Maria as well.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's awesome. Isn't that fantastic?
This is my donor. And I was very fortunate. Out of like what they say, it's like less than 3% of people get to meet their donor families. I got to meet my donor family. So I was very, very blessed. And they gave me this picture of her. So, yeah. So I have to do whatever it takes. And it means a lot to me to take care of myself and to honor not only my donor, but my donor's family, that I'm living my best life, and a healthy life. So to just live out her legacy, Maria's legacy.
It really gives life a new meaning whenever you're able to have your life extended by an unselfish, act from another human being. Because somewhere along the line, it just has to, it will change. Not has to. It will change your life. There's a saying that, we have 2 lives: the first life we live, and the second life after we realize we're going to die someday. And that happens whenever you face your own mortality. And whenever you need a transplant, or life-saving treatment like this, it's like being parachuted behind enemy lines, Jared, with nothing but your own will to survive. And that's what Crystal's doing every day. I got to steer it back to Crystal because that's what she's going through every single day. And we got to be that mouthpiece to scream and share and like and do all that stuff as much as we can so we can get somebody to, you know, answer that call down here. Full name, Crystal McKnight, blood type, O+, date of birth. Read that down there and call that phone number.
Right. If you haven't called that number already, or if you haven't looked it down on the screen, please. All right. It's just scrolling across. That's the phone number. If you're healthy, please call that phone number, because even if you're not O+ or O-, the paired exchange program is ready for you, and it will speed up her chances to get a donor. If the paired exchange program is it's powerful, and it does statistically speed up the chances of somebody getting a donor faster. It really does. Crystal, tell us a little bit about what you battle with every day. I don't want to focus on the negative. That's not my purpose with that question. But I think Sam is right in that we really need to bring to light some of the things that make you battle every day. Tell us a little about maybe insomnia or the other things that maybe your disease that brought on kidney disease, that you have to deal and battle with every day.
I deal with quite a bit between the kidney disease and the polymyositis. I'm tired all the time, like
24/7.
And I've had so many different surgeries over the last 5 years since this started, because it started a little bit before dialysis. I'm an amputee. I lost the toes on my left foot. So I've dealt with all of this, and I'm not 50 yet.
Wow.
I put a hashtag that I go by, kidney by 50. It doesn't have to be by 50, because I'll be 50 in a few weeks.
Let's
all right.
Yeah, let's follow that hashtag. Can we follow that hashtag? What is that? Kidney by 50?
Kidney by 50.
Yeah.
Hashtag kidney by 50. Let's everybody follow and share that hashtag.
And I came up with that because I felt like my 40s was so lost. The majority of my 40s, I was so sick and so ill. And my thought process is I want my 50s to be spectacular. And I'm ready to get it started. I'm ready to get it started. And I want to do so much. I'm a single mom, as I think I mentioned before. My son is actually 21. I had to think about that. His birthday is actually in a few weeks as well. And he's my rock. He's my caretaker. He became my caretaker as a teenager. He stepped into that role and he took it on wholeheartedly. And I always say, boys, don't let anything happen to their mothers. We may fuss and fight all the time, but he's not going to let anything happen to me. And I say God gave me him for a reason, because I'm tall. I'm 6 feet. My son is 6'9". He can lift me and do all kinds of things. And I said, that's why God gave me that big boy, because I needed him to be able to help me as much as he does.
Amen.
Crystal,
amen.
You have one of the reasons why you moved to the place that you are at, because you have a chairlift. Isn't that right?
Yes. What I did, I moved back to my childhood home, my mother's home.
Yeah.
And we have actually 2 chairlifts, because there's 2 flights. And it took a lot of getting used to the whole chairlift thing, because I came from an apartment. Everything was all on one floor. But it's how I have to get around now.
Because is your balance? How's your balance because of your toes? So I'm sure that has to throw. Yeah, I'm sure that throws your balance completely off.
You know what? Actually, not the toe situation didn't throw my balance off.
Okay.
The way I have a wonderful podiatrist, and the way he did that surgery. If you look at this foot, you don't know. Like if I have a sock on, you don't know I'm missing toes. He has it shaped just as if I have toes.
Fantastic.
So he did an excellent job. My balance is off, I guess, for other reasons, but it's totally off.
Dialysis, probably.
They're
Right.
the culprit. Yeah.
But dialysis is a grind, man. It's a grind. It will wear you down. It'll wear everything you got. It's not a joke. I mean, this is why we have to have this kidney transplant for Crystal, because look, I wish we could have recorded our conversation before we got on talking about Terry and Jared and I were talking about the brain fog, that fog that Crystal deals with on a daily basis because of the kidney disease, because that machine doesn't do what a kidney can do for your body, what a living kidney can do for your body. Here I was laying in a hospital bed in a cardiac ICU unit, healing from a kidney transplant, central lines in both sides of my neck. I was connected to everything, and 36 hours later, I felt fantastic because that kidney started getting rid of all that poison that causes that brain fog, that causes all the misery that is kidney disease. So there's nothing like it. That's why we got to get somebody to step up here and call that 215-707-8889 at Temple Transplant Center and donate a kidney to Crystal.
Please.
We got a party in our 50s.
A lot of people don't realize. They think, oh, well, you're on dialysis. So, yeah, dialysis is a blessing and a curse because it is keeping me alive. But it's not doing near what a kidney needs to do for you. It's doing the bare minimum to keep me alive, but I need so much more.
Right. And it puts a lot of stress on your organs and especially your heart. Sam, you're killing me. It puts a lot of pressure on your heart, which is why many kidney warriors suffer from cardiovascular problems. Mm-hmm. And so, man, you're talking about your equilibrium being off. I have interviewed many kidney disease patients. Many warriors talk about that equilibrium being off, and it makes me wonder if that's connected to the brain fog, and that same sort of thing. Is it just, your balance is off for some reason because of that? I'm not sure, but I've had many warriors say the same thing.
I had vertigo terribly. On dialysis to a point where I mean, I wanted to just escape something. I couldn't. It was bad. It was constant dizziness. Thank goodness it didn't last that long, but it was serious.
Vertigo can be very debilitating for sure.
Yeah, Lisa Baxter, she's dropping so much knowledge in this chat, talking about all the stuff in dialysis. Yeah, she's just dropping knowledge. I mean, letting people know this is what dialysis does to you. I mean, it is definitely not a picnic.
Yeah, I appreciate Lisa. Lisa Baxter is awesome. She's fantastic. I love her positive energy. She's vibrant. Does so much for the kidney disease community. So for
she's
her
amazing.
And your many comments. Yes. She's just a tremendous part of the kidney disease community. From Brooklyn, New York, too. Brooklyn in the house. So Candy's also watching, and I would terribly embarrassed if I didn't mention Candy. She's a great supporter as well.
Chief Candy. Candy was a chief petty officer in the Navy.
Yes, very thankful for her. I missed your interview with her, but I love that photo of her
I did
in her
too.
uniform.
I missed it also. Candy's basement flooded, and we have it rescheduled for this coming Monday night. Yeah, shameless MrKidney plug. Try not, occupy too much, but I have Candy coming on this coming week, and we're gonna tell all kinds of sea stories and kidney transplant stories.
This is me.
Good. Then if I didn't totally miss it, then I can watch it.
This is me drinking my fluids because I'm on a fluid restriction with this wonderful kidney disease and dialysis. I can't drink more than 40 ounces a day. And this includes your foods that have water in it.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is how I drink. This little tiny cup is how I keep a track of how much I drink. The only good thing about dialysis is that I feel like I can drink so much because most of my day was on dialysis, and now I got all night to get like 40 ounces. That seems like so much.
Yeah. Tell Crystal, people watching, tell them why you have that fluid restriction. The people, wondering why you need a kidney transplant and what dialysis is all about. That fluid restriction was a killer for me because I drink a lot of water now because of the kidney, because that's what you go from. You're going to go, Crystal, you're going to go from that barely sipping to them telling you after you get this kidney transplant, you got to drink, you're not drinking enough. So you literally go from 0 to 60. Tell them why you're on that fluid restriction though. It's a killer.
Because of course our kidneys, my kidney is not functioning. And the only way they get fluid off of me is at dialysis. Not to get too graphic, but I don't urinate. Some people on dialysis still urinate. I don't. So the only way that fluid comes off of me is at dialysis. And you can't have fluid overload because that affects your heart. And you can't have all that fluid on you. So I can only put in so much because they can only take off so much at treatment. So it's a balancing act. Yes, it is.
And you control a lot of that through that diet you were talking about. If you went and ate a bunch of cucumbers, there's a lot of liquid in there that you have to be careful with the food that every little thing that you put into your mouth on dialysis, you have to be careful with because it's that balancing act because it's Wednesday. You're not going to be back on dialysis until Friday. So everything that happens, if you go wild over the next, 24 hours and have too much fluid, you're going to have one hell of a time on that machine on Friday. It's such a balancing act. That's why we got to have this kidney. That's why we need a donor to step up.
I want that kidney because I want that challenge that you talked about, Sam. When you said I got to force those fluids. I don't drink beer, but what's that expression? Hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer.
Come in here and tell me to drink some fluids. They're not going to tell me I didn't drink enough. I told my son to be standing there with a straw. Let me show them what I can do because I was a fluid drinking fool before I had this issue. I drink bottles and bottles of water, so this was so hard for me.
Yeah.
When they said, "Oh, you can't drink that much," I said, "Excuse me, what do you mean?"
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, "Oh, okay, well, I can't drink juice and stuff." No, fluid altogether.
Gravy.
And I'm an ice eater. I eat ice all the time.
Right. Yeah. Anything, any liquid, it's off the table.
Right. That's everything. Difficult. Like even fluid from corn, cucumbers, anything.
Anything.
And those things you have to take into account. And I can't wait for the day that I don't have to count fluid, or I'm counting because I need to get 20 more ounces in because they're standing over top of me. And like I said, I told my son to be standing there with my straw. Let me show these people what I can do.
For you. Good for you.
That's a good question. That's a comment there.
Well, we don't think about the sacrifices that, being post-transplant, what we have to do to survive until we get our transplant. There's so many sacrifices, hidden sacrifices, and sometimes these sacrifices are emotional too. So it's so very hard. I went through a lot during my pre-transplant because I couldn't breathe and I was stuck on a machine 24/7. There's no way I could get off a machine and walk or talk or even eat, because if you can't breathe, you can't talk, you can't eat, you can't move, so you're stuck in a bed and just, hoping and praying for your transplant.
That had to be so scary. I can't even imagine. That had to be so scary for you, Terry.
It's very, very scary. And on top of that, I had the coughing spasms on top of that. So my oxygen saturations would go down, to the 50s and 60s. And it was awful. It's awful. I mean, it's all the sacrifices that unknown sacrifices that you don't know. It's like couldn't drive. You can't drive, It's like people on dialysis, they don't drive. Most of them don't drive. How are you going to drive yourself afterwards,
I couldn't.
So, my transplant center said, don't drive anymore. You need to have someone drive for you. You're on oxygen. You can't drive with those tanks. You get in an accident and you could blow up. So it's like, you can't drive. And, it's like being so independent and losing your independence too. That's a sacrifice. Being a single parent. And then I have a young son too, who also took care of me, pre and post transplant. And still, he works a full-time job and he's still like, Mom, how are you doing? How are you doing? It's just automatic now, for him. I only have one child as well. So, it's all of those, hidden sacrifices, and not that what people could see, but emotional wise as well, what it does to our mental health, what it does to our families, what our families see, especially our children,
Terry, I said that the whole time I was sick. It was so easy for me to be sick. I dealt with a lot of emotional issues like you're talking about. I dealt with a lot of anxiety, panic attacks, you name it, because that just comes with being sick. And I still deal with that. I wake up every once in a while, and it's been 12 years, and I still deal with it on a daily basis at times. At times it's just, and over the years it's gotten a little easier, but it's still there. There are so many after effects from surviving. So, and when people there's so much that term is so loosely used in our society, but you're a survivor, Terry. You make it through that out on the other side. We're so happy you're here. But you got battle scars, and that's just part of it. But that's why we're here together, loving each other, helping each other, getting Crystal a kidney. We're moving mountains tonight.
We're going to move mountains, and we're going to bring more awareness for Crystal and her need for a kidney. So Jean Syme, thank you for tuning in. Jean is awesome. I love Jean. She's great supporter of the Urban Health Outreach Media, and she's given some love right here. She's saying that that you rock, my squad sister. What does she mean by my squad sister, Terry?
Well, making a long story short, we connected on Facebook, and I guess my story inspired Brenda Cortez. I'm sure you know Brenda Cortez, and the house.
Yes.
And How the Owl. She sent me a How the Owl because she knew that I was elected to be on the Rose Parade, a class of 2020. So I was on the Rose Parade. I was an honoree.
Oh wow!
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, you were a float rider honoree. That is so amazing. Wow.
Wow. And, that was my float. Oh, where?
Yeah.
That was my float.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And so then,
wow,
Brenda
Rose,
Cortez,
we're talking about the Rose Parade.
The Rose Parade, yeah.
Yeah, so Brenda Cortez reached out to me, and we know the story about How the Owl, right? Help others with love. And that's what I do when I spread my story and my message, and especially with my One Breath Foundation. We help others with love. And so she sent me a Howl the Owl, and Howl the Owl rode with me on that float, you know.
Oh,
For,
really?
yes, for organ donation, for all of those. An
Uh-huh.
example of, becoming a donor and becoming an example of myself. Like, look at me, I'm a survivor. And how it was in all of my interviews, I carried him my whole journey through my through the rose parade from the beginning to the end. He was in all my interviews. He sat on the float, took pictures. He was actually in, how we donate roses, like the rose dedication to our donors.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing that too. I mean, how the owl was everywhere with me. And so then now we have a squad of all of us How the Hour ambassadors. So I'm a How
What
the Owl ambassador as well.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
That
and
is
How
so
the
cool.
Owl is our mascot for One Breath Foundation. So we adopted him, and he's our mascot because the message, since we assist those that living with a disease and who need a transplant, we assist
Like
those
Crystal.
and we collect donations, and it's all done with love. So I'm like, I am adopting How the Owl because that's the way we work too. And he's just in our journey as well. So that's why I'm a part of their squad.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow. So one of the things that Candy was just saying, and I think you also made a similar statement, is she's bringing up, that's why we have PTSD. And Sam, Terry, and Crystal, the emotional part of having this, having a chronic disease, that is not the easiest part of this. Would you all agree that maybe that's the part of this that sometimes can be a little, it's not talked about as much? I think it's not. I think it should be talked about more.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Jared. It needs to be talked about because this is not something that your doctor is not going to discuss with you. And that's why we urge everybody to be in a part of a support system and be a part of a support group. So you're with others that know the emotional part of it, and to get more education like we're doing right here. Because I had a really difficult time post transplant, because in my brain thinking that, okay, so when I get my lungs, I'm going to be the same. I'm going to be able to go to work again. I'm going to be able to go swimming. I'm going to be able to, take a nice hot shower. I'm going to be able to do a lot of things. That's not the case. That is so not the case. I struggled a lot. And so then I remember my mom taking me a shower when I was on oxygen. This is towards the end stages of my disease. And I can only walk with like probably 30 liters of oxygen. I had 2 huge concentrators and an oxygen tank with a regulator up to 35. So that's a lot of power going through me just for me to walk like probably 8 steps to the shower. And I would sit in a shower chair, and my mom would start to bathe me and wash my hair. And at that time I had long hair. I still have long hair, but you can't see, but I grew it back. And I had long hair, so she had to wash my hair at least, once a week to wash my hair. And having all that oxygen on, I couldn't breathe, having my head back and the water would go back, right? Well, sometimes she would like jerk it and the water would come up front. That scared me so much. I had so much anxiety. I felt like I was drowning. I couldn't breathe already. Now, any kind of water would frighten me, and I couldn't handle it. So even post-transplant, I hid this from myself because I thought it was only me. Like, I would have a lot of flashbacks, and one day I went to go see my PCP, and she said, "How are you doing?" And I broke down crying. And this is a year post-transplant, and I just broke down crying. I broke down and I said, I don't know how to live my life anymore. I don't know what to expect from this body. I don't know how to live. I don't know. And so I was just crying and crying because I just thought I could be myself again, and I'm not myself. I can't do this anymore. I can't even take a shower without flipping out, And she said, well, there is therapy, not a lot of patients, because if you don't say anything, then you're not going to get the help that you need. And, so she put me into therapy. It's called Life Skills After Transplant. And it's just occupational therapy to go through. So they're just coping skills. So I was diagnosed with PTSD because I would have the flashbacks, and the things that I used to feel emotionally, and then emotional wise comes physically. Because today I would take a shower and I would hurry up. I can't even enjoy it sometimes. I would feel shortness of breath. I'm just doing it to myself, I'd start my purse breathing, and then I would feel like I need to sit down because I'm exhausted. And it's all mental, emotional, and then it hits you physically, So I learned coping skills, and I have to go back to learn my coping skills. Like, I'm okay, I can breathe, I have 2 new lungs, and say that to myself over and over and over again. I mean, tomorrow's going to be 6 years. So I've been doing this already for 5 years, and still I go through the emotional part. So,
Terry, I got sidetracked when I was telling you earlier. One of the I said it was easy being sick. It was easy being sick because it was so hard to watch my family. I had young children at the time. I was 34. It was 12 years ago. I had young children at home. And just to watch their faces, watch my wife's face on a daily basis, watch me go through what I went through. I said it was easy for me, but that was kind of like my way of, suppressing what I was really going through at the time. The truth be told, I lost one of my kidneys on active duty when I was in the military. So fortunately enough, all my medical's been taken care of through, the Veterans Administration, through the VA. But I finally, they finally sent me to talk to somebody after my transplant and after I got into the system. And I had a psychologist say, you were absolutely traumatized. And I didn't even realize I was just telling her a story. Yeah. And I mean, she was patting my back on the way out. And I thought, yeah, I am. And I didn't know it. I didn't even, because there's this, we're put into this fight or flight whenever we're faced with our own mortality. And you either come out swinging or you give up. And Crystal here, Terry, I mean, we're fighters, man. We're not going to give up. I mean, that's why we're doing this now. I mean, check out Terry. She's got double lung transplant and a stage 3 kidney disease, and she's rocking and rolling.
Right. It's like, oh my gosh.
Crystal just got done with dialysis. And what's she doing? Looking for a kidney.
Because
there is not.
You can't stop.
You
gotta push. You gotta push.
Yeah. So,
and Sam, something that made me think of something with my son. I said to him, and this makes me very emotional when I said to him, do you ever remember a time when I wasn't sick? And he had to really sit there and think hard, and he was like a little bit, but not really. Because it's been that many years that I've been sick in some way, shape, or form. And he literally, I can't get up from seated positions with my polymyositis. So most of the things in my home is raised up. Because if it's raised up, then I can get off of it. But if it's not raised up, he has to lift me. That's why I was saying God gave me that 6'9" child, because he's so strong. And I'm not little, so he can lift me. And it's just become a way of life for us. But I told him, look, when I get this kidney, we going to have a ball. because we're going to go back. And I want you to see what life is with me having a little bit more energy and doing the things we used to do. I pull out all the pictures. So that took you to every Disney on Ice show they ever had. I said, and then I got sick and I couldn't do it anymore. I told him, so we might look a little silly. You'll probably be about 22 years old and I'll be 50, but we'll be at Disney on Ice together.
And that's it. That's what I ask a lot of people too, Crystal, is, tell people what's going to happen in your life once you get this kidney, because you just said it. Your life's going to be, you can live a fulfilled life again. You don't have to live a life of constant fight, constant battle, constant illness. You can get back to living life and, living that one day at a time. And not to mention, feeling good too. I mean, it stinks not feeling good. Jared, there is something. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I just read what Shane just put here, and it just made me smile a little bit.
Shane, so far since I've met Shane, there hasn't been a day he hasn't made me laugh, by the way.
My God. Sorry, guys. My apologies.
Can I share one thing? Terry talked about, needing that help in the shower. Crystal talked about her son. I mean, look, everyone sees me now and it's like, oh, MrKidney, he's fine. But I laid in an ICU bed and I didn't want to use a bedpan. And a young man who was about 10 years younger than me at the time and twice my size picked me up out of an ICU bed, made everybody leave the room to put me on the commode and sat there with me. Now, when you get sick, all humility goes out the window. That's why Shane can say that stuff. It's no big deal. It's no big deal to us. It's scary stuff, though. It's scary stuff that scares a lot of people away. That's why we need a hero, because this ain't going to scare a real hero. This ain't going to scare off someone who's willing to fight for a stranger's life. It is not, I just didn't wake up MrKidney. I got my ass kicked over and over and over until 12 years later, I finally found the courage to come out and start talking about this stuff. Because I dealt with it. I dealt with what Terry's going through, with those emotions, with everything that comes along with it. I felt so much guilt that my sister had to give me a kidney. That's something that people don't talk about. It's real because there's this obligation that we have after someone gave us our life back to fight and everything we have to keep this thing going, because we don't want to lose that gift. So there's so much that goes into this, and there isn't, they really do try the transplant, or I should say like the dialysis clinics, they have social workers. There are certain things that they do try to help people through, but there's nothing like peer help. There's nothing like somebody who's gone through it before, or a collective of all of us together. So hang in there, Crystal. We're going to find you a kidney. There's no question about it.
Wow. I love it.
I can't wait. I can't wait to be on the other side of this journey and be able to share what I've gone through to help others, because what you guys do is absolutely beautiful. And I had an aunt, like I said, that was a dialysis patient, and I used to talk to her every day. When she would call me when she got home from dialysis, out of breath, and just would say, I'll call you later. Because she had to talk to me every day. And I knew some of her struggle, but I really didn't know enough. And it's so much out there that people need to know about this, because it could happen to any of us. Like Sam, it was an injury. Me, it's hereditary. It can happen at any time sometimes, and we just need to know what's involved in this. And the fact that something I read, and I wish I could find it, that talked about the fact that if the amount of people that were healthy actually became living kidney donors. It's much more of a bigger number and tremendous number than those that need. It's not about 90,000 people that need a kidney. I believe, if my memory serves me correctly.
It's a lot.
But it's far more people out there that could actually almost wipe out the need for dialysis.
Yeah. We got to turn this line upside down. We got to turn the line of people waiting on kidneys into a people waiting to give kidneys. This number isn't real big, Jared. I say this, I call people out. I call out other veterans like myself, especially the veterans walking around who are healthy. And look, Candy, myself, people like us, we serve. This is just in our DNA to help and to serve. That's what we want to do. And there's veterans out there walking around looking for purpose in their life. And I call out other veterans like myself. If you're healthy, step up. I think military veterans alone could wipe this disease out if we wanted to, if we had enough people, courageous people, to step up and do this.
Amen to that. We need people to rise up. If more healthy people were to become donors, not just for kidney donor, as kidney donors for kidney disease patients, but just donors in general, because we do have a shortage. Yes, exactly, and like what Terry's done with tissue.
I had multiple blood transfusions.
Multiple. And man, so we definitely need more healthy people to step up, rise up. And it starts with us talking about it. It does start with that. But the other thing that happens is that if somebody's watching this now or as a replay and you're getting inspired by Terry's story, if you're getting inspired by Sam's story, if you're getting inspired because of Crystal's story, then please don't just be inspired. Do something and act on inspiration. My twin brother, all right? My twin bro, Jeffrey A. Brown, Jeff, he has an equation that he talks about. It's prayer plus faith equals action. And you can't do one without the other. Okay, and you could put hope in there too, but you've got to have all of them for that equation to work. All right, and so if you feel inspired, which gives her hope, then act on that and do something inspiring yourself and become a living donor for Crystal. So hashtag become a living donor for Crystal. All right, or give me a kidney by hashtag kidney by 50 again, like she started. I love that.
If you see down below, it tells you my date of birth is 7/17/70.
We ain't got much time. We got to get that kidney before 50.
Yes, we do. All right, guys. So my twin brother, he's and I've got some. I love the comments that are coming in. Thank you so much, because the comments from Jean, from Lisa, Candy, so many different people. Right here, Gina saying that Terry is such an inspiration. Thank you to your angel donor, Maria, for saving your life. So proud to call you my friend. Great comments tonight from people. My twin brother saying thank you for supporting Crystal. So we've got so many great comments. Shane's been commenting, of course, tonight as Midwest Kidney Warriors. We've had Lisa Baxter. So many people commenting, and I totally, I'm totally thankful because it's by doing that and commenting, sharing, smashing that share button, and making this as interactive as possible. We're allowing YouTube and Facebook we're putting the algorithm to work. Okay,
absolutely,
it's going to help us. Yes. We're making it work, all right? It's bound to us when we do that. All right. And it can't help but make it visible to other people. All right.
Whenever
so
you
please
hit that like
continue.
button, whenever you hit that like button, it lets everybody else know that likes this kind of content that we're out here. The YouTube, Facebook will refer this content to other people who haven't seen it. So you interact with the app, you interact hitting the like button, you interact by sharing, by commenting, by doing everything that you can do will bring more awareness, just like Terry's saying, to Crystal, to that link, to get us a donor to step up and give this gift to Crystal.
Amen. So what we'll do is we're gonna end this because I want to thank you everyone for watching, especially Crystal, because you've had dialysis day today and you still came on the Warriors Quest show. So again, a warrior does that, and I want to commend you. Really am thankful that we're getting your story out there. I'm honored to get to know you. I'm honored to be able to advocate for you tonight. What I'd like to do is Sam, I'm going to go with you first. What would you say for people that are watching if they're considering and thinking about becoming a living donor?
Jared, after 12 years of having a kidney transplant myself, of living, my life, I can go. I got to keep this short because we got to finish this up. But I could go on and on about how great my life has been in the past 12 years because of the gift that my sister gave me. Crystal is such a young woman. She has so much life left to live. And one simple act of somebody who is called to do it. I call this my calling. After 12 years, I was called to do something bigger and better with my life than I've ever done. And there's other people out there who are looking for that same feeling, that same gratification. And if you're looking for that, you don't have to look any further. You have a spare kidney in your body. You will live a absolute normal life without that kidney. Be a hero and donate it to Crystal. That's the only thing I can leave you with, Jared, is let's find somebody out there who's looking for a calling to fulfill their life, to fulfill something that they've been looking to fulfill their life, their whole life, to just step up, and that calling can be to donate the gift of life to Crystal.
Amen. So, Terry, you've received a transplant, double lung transplant recipient, and stage 3 kidney disease yourself. You yourself have touched on, what a donor has meant to you personally already on the show. But what would you say that would give Crystal encouragement tonight? What would you like to say to her or to other people that are searching for a donor?
I always say, never give up, never, because I didn't. As much as we suffer and as much as we talked about sacrifices, never give up, ever. And like Jared said, you keep your faith. You keep your faith and say your prayers. And you keep that hope alive, because your miracle will come to you. Because miracles are still happening right now as we speak.
Yep.
Miracles are happening. And it's starting right now with this show, with people sharing and people liking. And I hope people share, because it will reach somebody and it will reach that person. And that miracle is just there waiting for you, Crystal. So you keep on praying, you keep on hoping, you keep living. Do not just exist, you live. Okay, girlfriend?
Okay.
It'll come. You're young. You're young. You got so many years ahead of you. So you just stay strong. I got your back, girl.
Thank you.
Amen. You guys, I'm going to give us some confetti here because honestly, you guys made this. We've got some confetti here, and I'm thankful for everyone that's made this a success tonight. Thank you so much, because we're doing it for Crystal, and each one of you has brought it. All right, each one of you has inspired me, and this has been a great success, and I hope that this continues to be a great success, so that one day we can throw up the confetti for Crystal and on her behalf when she finds a living kidney donor. So I'm gonna say thank you to my beautiful co-host tonight, Sam, Mr. Kidney, and Terry. Thank you for coming on. All right, thank you so much. Honestly, God bless both of you. Thank you for coming on. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, so
Thanks, Jared. I had a great time.
Thank you all so much.
See you, Crystal.
Oh, well, musical chairs. I removed the wrong one. But hey, Sam.
Hey, Jared.
Thank you all so
thanks,
much
Sam.
for
Hit
what
me
you
up
did.
later, okay, brother? All right, so Crystal, I'm gonna give you a moment to give your shout outs. All right, tell us your shout outs and maybe anybody whom you'd like to thank, and just your thoughts before we end the show. Okay.
Okay, I always thank you, your brother, all of the advocates out there for what you do. It's absolutely beautiful, and you put so many of us in touch with one another. And we touched upon that, how important that is for us as far as what we're going through, not just physically, but mentally. So to have that support is tremendous. So I'm so thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for everyone out there that does any and everything they can do. You know, everybody doesn't have that calling where they're not well enough to be able to donate a kidney, but when they like, share, comment, just get my message out there, it just helps me tremendously, and I'm so grateful for everyone that does that as well. And I guess, like I said in this interview, my biggest supporter, my biggest I can't call him a cheerleader because he's a boy, but my son, that we bump heads daily. But when I tell you, I know that I don't have to worry about anything because he makes sure that I'm okay, and I make sure that he's okay. And that I thank him for that, because this was the life he was dealt, and he took it and ran with it. And I'm so grateful for him.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you so much. And if he's watching right now, I'd just like to personally thank him for giving you so much support and encouragement when you need it, because he certainly sounds like your rock, and that's a godsend, because as everyone whom I've interviewed needs, and everyone whom I've interviewed will attest to this, you can't do this alone. And God to send you such a support is wonderful. It's amazing. So thank you. I want to thank him, if he's watching, for doing that, because you battle every day. You're wearing boxing gloves, so to speak, every day, and you've got somebody in your corner. It's him, it's me, it's Terry, it's Sam, Mr. Kidney. It's Gene, Syme, it's everyone that's watching and everyone that will watch this. They're in your corner, and I want you to know that, honestly, is that we're all in your corner. We love you.
I appreciate it. I do, and I thank above everything and everyone. I thank Jehovah God above, because if it's not for God, I wouldn't be here, and I'm so grateful. I don't sit back and say, oh, woe is me. Why is this happening to me? I look at the things that God gives me and make sure that I'm okay in this journey. And I feel confident that he's going to make sure I get this kidney.
Amen. Amen. I believe that too. I do. God is acutely aware of everything that you do. He loves you. God bless you and your family. All
Thank
right.
you. You too.
I'll continue to pray for you. And I hope that everyone who's watching will do the same and give you the same support on a constant and regular basis so that we can celebrate your success soon. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye, Crystal.
All
Have a
right.
good
Bye-bye.
night now.
Good night.
All right. Bye-bye. Guys, wow. We've been extremely inspired. I know that this has inspired me. It's been overwhelmingly gratifying to see the support that you've given Crystal McKnight tonight. I've had amazing co-hosts who in their own rights have inspired me as well. And again, my only request is that if you have been inspired, all right, and you feel as though you've gotten encouragement and you've been moved, so to speak, because of what you've heard, please act on it. All right. The number down here, okay, like it reads here, she urgently needs a kidney. Crystal McKnight, blood type O, negative or positive. A date of birth here. The call that phone number 215-707-8889. All right, Temple Transplant Center. If you can't donate, then please share this information to somebody who may be healthy enough to do that. All right, donate shares, so to speak, if you can't donate. And let's get this information out there to the masses. Thank you again for your support. Thank you for giving Crystal support. I'm going to find the outro. Please like and subscribe so that we can give more people who would like to get their stories told, give them the same support as well. All right. Thanks for your overwhelming response and your support for her tonight. We'll be back next week, Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So have a beautiful and blessed evening, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm finding the outro. Give me a moment. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. Here we go. Here we go.
Know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike. Now I gotta roll with ice. Cold, these brothers my guys. Know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike. Now I gotta roll with ice. Ride or die, 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 ride or die. Cold, these brothers my guys. Know that they fly, know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side, CJ Ike. Now I gotta ride or die.